Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, today we are going to be talking about Strixhaven and some decks that we have coming up over the next 7 days. So, since the content creator program was actually cut loose, it no longer exists, and we actually weren't part of it anyways, we decided to not put out a deck today that was irrelevant to the current format and just kind of show you what we're doing. So, real quick, let's say hi to Will. Hey, Will, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
Good to have you back. I'm super glad you're here. So before we actually talk about these cards, though, I just want to say once again that we did have a winner. We hit 100 subscribers. Thank you all so much. And it was Hunter Kessel. Congratulations once again. We have already gotten him his gems. So congrats. Super happy. And a reminder one more time, we are going to be opening up our Discord sometime next week. So keep an ear out for that. Do us a favor, if you want to be part of all of that, subscribe to the channel real quick, give this video a like, leave us a comment down below, and without further ado, Will, what do you think? Should we get into this?
Let's go.
Okay, so the first deck we're going to talk about is our Quentins Turns deck. So we have two cards that we want to talk about and just kind of, we're only going to show you a few cards or showcase a few cards from every deck that we're showing here tonight. So from the first one being Quentins Turns, we have Tenazir Quandrix and Toski Bearer of Secrets. So Will, tell us a little bit about why those are in the deck and just don't give them too much.
Yeah. No, definitely. There's going to be a little bit of a twist on kind of like the Toski Turns deck. If some of you have been playing previously and, you're running a lot of small creatures, having some fun with that, trying to draw some cards, maybe eventually take some extra turns, trying to win out the deck. And that's usually how that one goes. The difference is we're running Tenazir Quandrix. So the cool part about this card, it's 4/4 flying trample. So yeah, you're like, okay, that's great, Will. But it's the second part is whenever he attacks, his power, base, and toughness becomes all the other creatures' powers based up. So basically all those 1/1s that you're swinging with to draw cards now are becoming 4/4s. So not only are you trying to draw cards, but you're trying to end the game. So the goal of this is to really come swing wide, turn them all into creatures, and just kill him in one shot. And hopefully maybe take an extra turn and do it again. Yeah.
Unfair, Will. You know I love Toski. So did you make this because you know I love Toski, or is this just something that you saw and you just were like, we have to do this? So it was for me.
I thought it was for you. I'll just go with that way. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that. So next deck we have got is Red Deck Wins because it's fast. And it's usually cards that everybody already has, and it does the job efficiently, especially when people are out there trying out new cards. Red Deck Wins can usually kind of farm you some wins to the next tier. And why have we chosen Blade Historian and Make Your Mark to talk about?
Well, I thought these two cards were going to be very relevant in this deck since we are going with that red shell and we're just going at their face. We're trying to finish out the game as quickly as we can, replacing, that Tor brand, as we discussed in our preview episode, with Blade Historian to really try to push forth with that double strike. It's a good turn 4 drop instant. You're just going all in. And then with the Make the Mark, the good part about this, it's a 2-for-1 for an extent. So if they're trying to stop one of your creatures, like typical, that normal removal they're going to do on your red spells, you do Make Your Mark in response. And now you have a 3/2 creature they got to deal with. So not only did they kill one, but now they have to worry about now killing a stronger creature that you're putting on the board because you just upgraded your 1/1 into a 3/2, and now they got to deal with that. So the goal is to just keep going and hopefully take them out just as quick.
I have a feeling that Make Your Mark might actually make its mark in the format, if you will. Yes. But, in very niche decks here and there, depending on if it, fits the needs of that deck, I think Blade Historian is going to see multiple decks in the format. I can already think of at least 5 decks that have fit into, but I'm not going to talk about all those right now. So the next deck we're going to talk about is Burgi Combo. And Will, you are a cruel man because I believe that you are not previewing anything to do with the combo. So you want to talk about Plarg, Dean of Chaos, and Fervent Mastery. So we're not going to tell them about the secret combo part of the Burgi deck yet, but what are we doing with these?
So the goal is for using the cards to make this deck really go off, you have to have some kind of mechanics in there that kind of keep moving the deck along. So using Plarg in the deck, Dean of Chaos, that discard and draw mechanic is super helpful. So you can get to your combination just a little bit faster and make it that much more effective. And Fervent Mastery is the same thing. Searching your library for 3 cards, putting them into your hand, shuffling and discarding 3 cards at random. Yeah, there's a chance you can lose a couple of your combo pieces in there, but you might already have 2 of the 3 that you're trying to get across. So, hey, that's a chance we're taking because you might just need that one card. So I these two cards specifically are to move the deck around to get to those combo pieces to go off and win.
Amazing. So that's amazing. Thank you very much, Will. And I'm not going to tell them what it is, but I will give you a little bit more of a spoiler. It doesn't matter how much their life is at when we do what we're going to do. They're going to die. Anyways, So then let's go ahead and get into the deck that I kind of have my heart set on playing right away, is the Nota deck. So we're going to talk about Vulnerable Warsinger, and then Nota. What are we doing with that card?
So Vulnerable Warsinger is a great addition to a Nota deck because, you're really trying to go off with early non-human creatures to get on the board, start putting pressure. The Vulnerable Warsinger gives you that ability to start bringing some of that content back. So later on, if you are struggling or if you're just trying to get maybe something back to protect some of your other creatures, him getting through instantly gives you that back. Now you have that auto protection for the next turn, so you're able to keep Winota alive. And then Winota, of course, Journal of Forces is the draw push for this deck. So using those smaller creatures that are not human to push out some of the awesome humans that we're really trying to get on the board to finish out the game. And I really like this combination because some of the newer cards with some of the older cards are really going to put a lot more pressure and bring Winota back.
Well, thank you for explaining that for us. So no, I won't. I was going to let them know what the bottom end package is, but we'll keep that a secret. I'm so excited about this deck. So, and then next we're going to go into another deck that I'm super excited about. I keep saying that about certain decks. You'll notice those are the ones I built. But the next one is Clever Luminancer Combo Deck. So we're going to show you Lenin Lightscribe and Clever Luminancer. What are we doing with these cards?
Yeah, so these two cards specifically are a good combination piece for the whole deck. We're not going to let you know what we're actually going to do to get those combos going off, but you can probably tell due to the fact that both of these cards do have Magecraft. So, the goal is to, again, be a Spellslinger kind of deck, but we're not going to give you any of that more information from there. But Leonin, being able to get +1/1 to the end of turn to all of your creatures, super helpful to try to get this combination off. And then Clever Luminancer, same thing. You basically every creature or everything spell that you cast, you're getting +2/+2 till the end of the turn. So I'm sure most of you guys know what a Voltron deck is. Kind of the same idea, but we're not really going to give any more details than that.
And whatever you do not pay attention to the card art I chose. Okay. And next we're going to go into the big red deck, and we're only going to talk about Crackle with Power. We do not want you to know much more than that. Will, what are we doing with this card?
Yeah, so this is a deck that I really want to see if it'll work, and I think more is how I built it. But Crackle with Power is that card that everyone's been talking about. Is it good or is it useless? And I'm really trying to see if I can make it good. And so the combination of cards in this deck is to really try to get to where you need to go as fast as you can and one-shot your opponent with this card. So that's the goal, and I'm hoping that we can surprise you and hopefully surprise the people that we play.
I hope you surprise me. I haven't seen the deck. I haven't actually looked at that deck yet. I know he was working on it, and I actually am rooting for you, Will, that it works or that it's amazing in the format, because since I have given it I own 2 thumbs, and I've given it 3 thumbs down. I like to be proved wrong when it comes to Magic. That's super fun. Yeah. I'll play it. I mean, I have to, because we're going to show you the deck. So you're going to see me play it. Thank you, 100%. Will. Thanks very much, Will. So next we have that one he built for me, very much
100%.
So. And then we're going to talk about Sultai Control. I do believe this is the one that Will has his heart set on, and he's really excited about. So, of course, we got Professor Onyx in this deck and Harness Infinity.
So this deck, I'm going to say, we've already understand where Sultai Ultimatum decks are. We already know where Sultai Control decks are, things along those lines. And they're top of the meta when it comes to maybe the top 3 decks that you see on Constant. So why get rid of it when you already have it invented? So what we did is I made a couple adjustments to the deck, and I really wanted to manipulate some of the other cards. So using Onyx itself, and of course, you want to get that combination to get Onyx to go off because it's an instant winning game card. So if you're able to, double the counters and then minus her out, you basically kill your opponent in one shot. So if that hits the board, there's a chance you just win. The second one is Harness Infinity. So the reason I put that card in the deck is because overall, you're using a lot of your cards pretty quickly. You're putting them in the graveyard as fast as you can. You're moving your deck forward. Eventually, the goal would be being able to play this as an instant on their turn. So then you basically put 0 cards from your hand and you replace it with your graveyard. So now everything you just did to them you're doing again. If you have the mana to get most of your stuff off, the guaranteed chance of you winning that turn is pretty darn high. So really trying to see if we can get this to work, and try to take the ladder with it.
And if the current iteration of this deck is your jam, don't worry. All we really did was modified the flavor a little. So next and lastly for today's video, and I cannot wait for the next video so we can get into some Strixhaven gameplay for you and just start showing you how all these fun decks work. Next is Witherbloom Lifegain. So this is a really fun one that we both worked on together. It's I think it's a little bit of both of our brainchilds. I can't wait to see what it does. Demogoth Titan and Blot Out the Sky are the cards you're going to tell us about.
Yeah, so this is kind of like an interesting combination deck that me and you were discussing, and I was like, hey, what can we do and how can we utilize the Demogoth Titan? And this card is amazing, right? It's a 4-drop for 11-10. Everyone's like, ugh, what's the downfall? You got to sacrifice a creature to attack or block. And I was like, how can we manipulate? So a lot of the deck is built around that ideology. Doesn't mean that you have to use it. You can still win outside the box doing other things. But that is one of the things we were like, can we abuse him? So I thought that was kind of fun. And then secondly, with Blot Out the Sky, it's a good answer. So at this moment, you're like, hey, maybe I need some early on creatures. Great. Or if not, I'm just going to destroy everything. And I'm going to give me a bunch of 2/1s. And eventually, maybe I can just win out anyways. But the funny part about that, same thing. This can be a standalone by itself card, or it really does help the board. I'm not going to tell you what else is in this deck, but we'll just say that, you're not having to really worry about your creatures very much because you're going to be doing stuff every turn.
Yeah, the Blot Out the Sky is not making creatures for the Demogoth Titan to sacrifice. I'll tell you that. You can, but I'll tell you that's not what it's doing in there. So, but we can't really tell you what that is at the moment. So, okay, well, I think that about wraps it up then. If it doesn't, I'm a liar because I said it was gonna.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot more that we're building, but these are just a few that we wanted to get started with and what we're going to be playing with. But yeah, we definitely have a lot more fun decks that I think you guys are going to be interested in as they come out.
Yeah, and these are all going to come out. I wouldn't say the next 7 particularly. It could be the next 7 videos, but just in case, I don't want to promise that. And then a really amazing deck in the meta comes out. Of course, we're going to share that with the channel because this channel is about having a lot of fun and competition. So if an absolute beast of a deck shows up out of nowhere, we're going to be featuring that too. So don't worry, it's not just brew crew decks, but we like doing both of those content, and I hope you do too. And if you do like that comment, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, be one of our many subscribers who's going to be joining our brand new Discord next week. Share this with a friend, and as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.